What up, YouTube? Danny Nuggets back in with another vid. Got to talk about my Denver Nuggets. Had a shitstorm of a day. Pretty crazy. We fired longtime head coach, Michael Malone. He was like the third most active head coach in the league outside of Steve Kerr and what's his face and Greg Popovich. Now he gets fired. Jokic's only coach. Calvin Booth, the GM, also gets fired. That one was deserved because he built a dog water roster around Nikola Jokic. And as a result of the moves he's made post the ring, it's been pretty nasty. I already talked about it on my TikTok, but basically the things that he's done is basically be cheap because of the second tax apron. That could have been because of ownership. I already talked about that, but he also played a part in it. I heard he was beefing with Michael Malone, saying they needed a shooting coach, and Michael Malone stopped him because he's the coach and he wants to have his own coaching staff or deal with the coaching staff. Another thing, as I already mentioned, that the Zeke Najee extension, pretty terrible considering Najee gave you nothing and you given the opportunities he had, really didn't give you much of anything, and why I don't think he deserved that extension. As a result of that, we couldn't give KCP the requisite money for him to come back and stay in the team. We need his point of attack defense. Our defense is plummeted. AG has fell off due to the calf injury. CB's not good enough. He handles size well, but like he doesn't have the foot speed to be a legitimate point of attack defender. Trading away Reggie Jackson, getting rid of Reggie wasn't terrible because the second half of last year Reggie wasn't that great. It was attaching 3 second round picks to send them out to Charlotte, and we didn't have any assets to like get anybody this trade deadline, and then using our mid-level exception to get Dario Saric instead of getting, maybe even re-signing Justin Holiday or getting Chris Dunn, or getting some other player of that caliber. Maybe even a Gary Trent Jr. from the Milwaukee Bucks would have been better. And now we're stuck here, man. Now Malone is fired as a result of that. I don't know if you've heard the reports on Twitter or like the rumblings on Twitter, but he said a quote yesterday after, I think it was either after the whatchamacallit, the Pacers lost, or it was media availability yesterday, and he made comments about how some of the guys on the team aren't watching film or not paying attention to film sessions. So based on that right there, you could say, or you could argue, he lost some of the locker room there. I wouldn't have agreed to firing Malone, but it is what it is. Shout out to Michael Malone. Shout out to Moch. Got us a ring, man. Never forget that. And hopefully he does well wherever he coaches next. As for the Nuggets, man, I also saw a quote by ownership because they're the ones who made the decision. Jeff Kroenke, I think he's like the owner's son, so him and his father split the decisions. I don't know the inner workings of how ownership works in Nuggets land, but Jeff Kroenke had a quote saying, "Play hard and have fun." Bro, that's an insane ass quote after what you guys did today. Man, I don't know, man. 3 games, 4 games right before the playoffs start. We're on a 4 game losing streak. We're like we are in danger of falling into the play-in, bro. We may not even make the playoffs when we're making this type of move. You could have just waited until the off season. It is questionable stuff. Like what the Grizzlies did just opened Pandora's box because at this point, coaches can be fired, leading playoff teams right before the playoffs start. And God forbid you have a lull right before All-Star break, bro. It's crazy. Patience is out of the way. I will say though, Michael Malone is one of the few coaches that have like been like longest tenured. Like I mentioned before, he's the third longest tenured coach prior to this firing. Before, and I said Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich were the two longest ones. But like, man, oh man, it's crazy how the league can flip around so fast, bro. It hasn't even been 2 years fully since we won the title, and now look where we are. Roster that's kind of far away, being backed by Nikola Jokic. Our GM is fired, our coach is fired, and we're stuck in the middle of nowhere, essentially. I don't know what to say. Interim head coach is David Adelman. He's been a long time an assistant with the Nuggets. He is no David Adelman. He is Rick Adelman's son, who is, I think, one of the best coaches in NBA history. I could be wrong. You could fact check me if I'm wrong. At this point, though, I don't know what the future of the Nuggets is. I want to say Jokic stays for the remainder of his contract because it's a supermax. I doubt he gets traded. That'd be crazy. I would cry. I wouldn't cry, but like I'd be sad. You know what I mean? I said that metaphorically. I'd be sad as a Nuggets fan. Like I'd be distraught, bro. I don't want to be a player hopping fan, but this open Pandora's box, bro. I don't know what the offseason's gonna look like, bro. I don't even know what the end of the season's gonna look like, man. Like I still hold that hope we got a miracle run at us, but that's just the delusion in me as a Nuggets fan. But like, damn, the mighty have fallen, bro. Oh, that Zeke Naji contract is so nasty. Also, CJ McCollum and all the players that accepted this CBA, the second tax apron is bullshit, and I want y'all to know that. I'm just lost for words, bro. This may be an end. This is an end of an era for the Nuggets, bro. I don't know what we do in the offseason because maybe we pull a Bucks and we trade for somebody. I've heard the KD rumors. I don't know if we have the assets for that. That would nuke our depth even more. I don't know if I'm a fan of that, but hey, man, it is what it is. This is where we are as a Nuggets in Nuggets Nation and Nuggets land. Head coach Michael Malone fired, general manager Calvin Booth fired, and the future is murky, bruh. Nothing much else to say. Comment down below your thoughts on this. How do you feel about the Nuggets moving forward? Are we not? Are we gonna make the playoffs? Are we just the first round exit? Let me know the good stuff down below. Subscribe to the channel, greatly appreciated. Follow me at Danny Nuggets on TikTok. Appreciate the follow there. And as always, guys, have a good one. Peace.